Happy readers, I'm Liz and today we're reading Last Little Blue Envelope. This book is the sequel to 13 Little Blue Envelopes by Maureen Johnson. 13 Little Blue Envelopes leaves us off with Ginny going home defeated because she had her backpack stolen while she was in Greece and everything with it. And so she goes home and she's just totally defeated and she just kind of wipes it from her mind being like, I'm never going to get that back. And then she gets a mysterious email from this guy named Oliver. This email takes her back to England and she gets to meet this Oliver guy and they have to go collect pieces of this one main piece and it's going to be the last piece of Aunt Peg's art. And so they go on this big adventure on ferries, lots and lots of ferries, and Keith's broken down car, and with this girl named Ellis that I just definitely want to be best friends with. Now we're going to talk about characters, and if you remember, I mentioned Ellis and Oliver, and they're two new characters, but two very awesome characters, and Maureen also brings back the oldie but goodie characters like Keith and Richard. I really like the characters in this book. I feel like she did a good job in bringing in new characters and bringing in that fresh air kind of in a way while still bringing the feel of 13 Little Blue Envelopes and that self-discovery and the coming of age kind of stuff. I mean, the series as a whole, it just is a brand new approach. Not really brand new approach, but I feel like it's just it's a different approach than what I'm used to the coming of age kind of stories, where this girl just gets thrown into a place that she doesn't know, or several places that she never been there before, and she is told this is what you do, and you might feel like you're touristy or whatever, but you just go and you experience Europe as it should be, and I really, really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the romantic scenes, even though sometimes I was like, Jenny, you're being a little bit too dramatic and being a little too girly, but at the same time I was like that when I met a guy that I really liked for the first time, Even during the parts where Ginny is flustered and she is like, I don't know if I can be around Keith and all this stuff and blah 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 blah. If you've read the book, but if you have to wait a couple weeks, she just gets really flustered sometimes, and it's just adorable and it's really girly at times, but the whole book as a whole, I feel like it's not like super girly and it's not something that you would say, oh no, guys can't read this. It's actually like a good story, and there are some really good parts. To give you an example of how awesome the story is, there is a scene in which Ginny is told to go to a graveyard in the last letter, and Aunt Peg tells her the story about this lady sculptor who carved this obelisk for her sister. And Aunt Peg talks about this lady like she's the best ever, like superwoman or something, because against everything that society was telling her to do, that she should be like this dainty little princess and that she shouldn't be something that men usually do or whatever. This is a lot of air quotes. But seriously, like there were parts where she was just like, hey, this is usually a man's job, but women can still do that, and women can still like make a difference in the world and like give people art and something awesome into the world. And because there's a part where she's just like, Jenny, don't worry about what you can't do, just try to do this and you will be awesome. And like, even though she's talking beyond the grave, she's just like, hey, this is still something I believe you can do, because I believe that you can be something bigger and better than the shy little girl who just does what her parents tell her to do. Something I also enjoyed about this book, the pacing, maybe it's because I just was so excited that I was just like, let's get through this book, I love it, but I feel like there wasn't that like dry bit, I don't know what to call it. Like there's sometimes in the middle of Maureen Johnson's books where it just feels like it's dragging on, but in this one I feel like there was parts where like she was in the car and it was just kind of boring, not really boring, but like you felt like you knew that what they were feeling as they were like bored just driving 6 hours in the car. But as a whole, I felt like the book was better paced than most of her other books. I just feel like it's just getting so good. Like, I love all of her books, but at the same time, I'm just like, this one is the best. Also, let me tell you that there are a lot of like either nerd references or just straight out telling you that, Ginny's watching Doctor Who, and I was just sitting there like freaking out because I was just like, nerd, all over the place, nerd, and I was just, I told one of my friends, I was just like, I was flailing like this. I can't really think of anything to complain about this book at all. Like seriously, I could probably say, oh, it wasn't long enough because it was like 200 some odd pages. It wasn't that long. But, and also I could complain that there's not enough Oliver in the book because I loved him. But that's more of my own opinion type thing, even though a book review is my opinion, but at the same time, it's just like, it's just being overly like, oh my gosh, I could have read more and it would be awesome. I'm not sure if this is going to be a trilogy. If anybody knows, I think she mentioned it. I don't want to say for sure, but I hope it is, because I'd like to see another book with Ginny in it, because I think she's a fabulous character. I think she's very smart, and I think she's very brave now. And like I said, I like how it was both deep and naturally humorous and everything, and I can go on for hours, but